Okay, hey guys. So here's our last video for the week. It's going to be on page 7 in your notes packet. So go ahead and get there. And we're just going to take what we did yesterday with one-step equations, and we're going to take it one more step. So, you know, we're going to do the two-step. Do the jig, right? Okay, so the two-step equation is just like last night's one step. We're still solving for x or whatever our variable may be, if it's n or y, whatever. We're going to solve for x, but there's going to be two steps now that we have to do to get x by itself. Step 1 is just like we did yesterday. Get rid of the number added to the x first. We have to get x by itself. This is our goal. Let's write that at the top. Get x by itself. Okay, it needs to be by itself because we're solving for x. We're trying to figure out what x equals. So step 1 is get rid of the number added to the x first. So let's go ahead and let's just follow that step in number 1. I want you to draw your line through the equal sign so we can separate the different sides. We're going to get the number added to x first. Turn on my light. Okay. All right. So get rid of the number added to x first. What number is added to the x term? It's added. It's not 3. 3 is multiplied. But which number is added to the x? It's actually the 6, right? So the 6 is added to the x. How do we get rid of something that is added? We're going to subtract it from both sides. That's key. Okay? So we're going to say minus 6 and minus 6, right? When you do that, you're going to have this cancel because 6 minus 6 is 0. And you're just going to pull this down because all we're left with on this side of the line is a 3x. And what we're left with over here is 24 minus 6, and that is 18. So we're left with 3x equals 18. Now, look at number 2. Get rid of the number multiplied to the x last. How do you think we're going to get rid of the number multiplied? What's the opposite of multiplication? Hopefully, either out loud or in your head, you're thinking division, and you're right. Divide on both sides. Okay, so what number is multiplied to the x? It's 3. So we're going to divide by 3 to get that number off the x on both sides. So this goes 3 divided by 3, but that's just 1. We're just left with x on this side, which is what we want. It's by itself. Yay. And then 18 divided by 3 is what? 6. So your answer is 6. Now remember, there's always a way we can check ourselves. So we can take what we get for an answer and plug it back into our original problem. So here I'm just going to rewrite it. It would be 3 times 6, because our x is 6, plus 6 equals 24. So 3 times 6 is 18, plus 6, is that 24? It is. It checks out. Okay? Let's do number 4. Number 4. Okay? So our first step, remember at the top, is to get rid of the number added to the x first. Do you see something added to the x here? I'm going to turn these lights off. It's kind of hard to see it. It's too bright. Okay. There's nothing added to the x. There's something subtracted, right? But there's nothing added. So really what we're doing here is we're kind of going backwards, right? If it's subtracted already, we're just going to add it, because that's the opposite of subtraction is addition, right? So since this negative 4 is added to the x, is subtracted from the x, we're going to rewrite this so that it makes sense for us, okay? We're going to put this into where it is adding instead of, so you're going to have a plus, a negative. We know that when we do plus a negative, it's the same thing as minus, okay? So we're going to have to make it adding. So plus a negative x, all right? So this negative attaches to the x. So now, what is being added to the x? Well, it's a -4. So we have to add the opposite, right? We're going to have to get that by itself. So draw your line to separate the different sides. And how can we clear out or cancel out a -4? What plus -4 is going to give us 0? That's what we're trying to do here. It's just a 4. Right? So -4 plus 4, that's 0. It cancels out. Now we're just left with a -x. And then 1 plus 4 is 5. -x is 5. Now, that's not your answer. You're not done yet. Because it's right. It's kind of like you have a -1 attached to that x. We have to do step 2. Get rid of the number multiplied to the x last. What number is multiplied to this x right now? -1. So we're going to divide by -1. All right. When you do that, you get x by itself, because those -1's cancel, and then you get 5 divided by -1, that's a -5. That's your answer. That one was a little bit more tricky just because of that adding and subtracting at the beginning. All right. Let's look at number 5. So on number 5, we have a 1/2 x. Wait, actually, let's save this one. I'm sorry. We're going to do this one in class tomorrow, and I'm going to show you a shortcut with the calculators that's going to help you figure this out. Okay? So we're going to skip that one. We're going to skip that one, and we'll do that one in class, and we'll also do number 6 in class. So let's go down to number 7. All right. We're doing number 7. Ooh, what do we notice here? It's kind of flipped. The equal sign is on the right. On the left. And all the x and everything is on the right. That's okay. You still do the same thing. Okay? So we're trying to still get x by itself. That's our goal. So we have to see what is added to the x first. That's what step 1 says. What's added to it? 3 is being added. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. 3 minus 3 is 0. It cancels. 3 minus 3 is 0, right? Don't worry. We're going to keep it like that for now. Next, our step is to get rid of the number multiplied to the x. So how can you get rid of the number of the 9 that's multiplied to the x? You divide by 9 on both sides. Oh, no, I should have rewrite this. Okay. You divide by 9 on both sides so that this cancels out. 9 divided by 9 is just 1. You're just left with a 1x. And 0 divided by 9 is what? What's 0 divided by anything? 0. So your x is 0. Now, just because that looks weird, we could plug that number in. We could plug 0 in for x and check our answer. So 3 equals 9 times 0, because that's where your x is, plus 3. So 9 times 0, well, that's 0. Plus 3 is just 3. So 3 equals 3? Yes, it checks. Okay? All right, we're going to skip number 8. We're going to go ahead and go to the back. All right? Let's look at number 9. That one looks a little scary because it has a fraction, but you can do it, okay? number 9. Okay. Number 9. Our first step, if we look at our first step, it says take off what is added or subtracted to the x first. Well, that would be this minus 8. So we're going to add 8 to both sides to get rid of that. Okay? So what's added or subtracted to it first, we're going to get rid of that first. That equals 0, and then negative 2 plus 8 gives us a 6. So we're left with x divided by 3 equals 6. Right? We just brought this down. That's all we have left over here. Everything else canceled out. Alright, so what is happening here? What is attaching this 3 to the x? How can we get this x by itself? Well, what we see here is we're having a division. X is being divided by 3. So what's the opposite of division? Multiply, right? So to get this 3 off the x, we're going to have to multiply both sides by 3. And when we do that, it cancels the 3 out, and it gets our x by itself. And we end up with 6 times 3 is 18. All right? And just like normal, you could plug this 18 back in and check it. It's actually pretty easy. 18 over 3 minus 3 equals negative 2. All right, so what's 18 divided by 3? 6 minus 3. Oh, wait, this is an 8. Minus 8, sorry, that's an 8. I didn't see that right. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. Check. Okay. All right, let's do some of these on our own. So let's go ahead and do number 2. I want you to see if you can figure this out on your own first. So go ahead and draw your line on number 2. Oops, sorry. Draw your line for the equals, and then I want you to see if you can figure out how to get x by itself. If you need to look at the problems we've done before now, that's fine. But our goal is to get x by itself. Okay? So pause the video right now. Follow your steps and see if you can figure it out on your own. I'm going to work it and see if you get the same answer as me. If you got this, x equals 6 or 6 equals x, you are awesome. If you didn't get that, see where my steps were. See where you did wrong, where you went wrong, and correct that for next time. This is just practice. Let's look at number 6. Draw my line. Okay, what is added or subtracted to the x? Well, it's subtracting 4, so we're going to add 4 to both sides. To get rid of that, we have to do the opposite. So we end up with 17 on this side of the equal sign, and then negative x divided by 3. Okay? All right. So what can we do to get rid of this x here? What's happening here? Well, this is division. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. All right. So when we do that, we cancel out. We still have a negative x equals 17 times 3, and that's a 51. We still have this negative sign attached, and that's not x by itself. That still has a negative on it. And what that really means is that there's a negative 1 multiplied to the x. So we're going to divide by negative 1 to get that negative off. And when we do that, we just get x equals negative 51. Because 51 divided by negative 1 is negative 51. And we're going to stop there for today. Okay? So please bring this tomorrow to class, and we'll do some examples, and I'm going to show you those tricks on how you can use your calculators to help you solve some of these more difficult equations. All right? Have a good night.